Hi, I'm Jordan Field. I'm the director of the Detroit Tigers Foundation. My best piece of advice for students that aspire to work in professional sports one day is to be proactive about it. You need to meet people, you need to network. In high school it's called social climbing, but in business it's called networking. And by networking, what I mean is reaching out to individuals like me and other folks that work in the industry and asking them for advice. Folks are going to be very open to providing advice and meeting with you as a student, as opposed to meeting with you as a graduate and someone who's only seeking employment. And when you network, you need to be polite and you need to be persistent. Folks like me are busy, but also enjoy very much meeting with students and providing advice. So be politely persistent. Write letters, send emails, ask a question, follow up with them after you follow their advice, ask a second question. But most importantly, you need to let go of being a sports fan. You need to morph into becoming a sports executive. This is something we talked about early on in our Working in Professional Sports program. As a sports executive, you don't drink beer at ball games, you don't swear at the TV, you wear a tie, you act professionally, and you learn to appreciate the game in a much different capacity. And in that capacity, you want to study sports. You want to read the Sports Business Journal and sports business articles. And not just who's being traded and who's being signed and who's the hot free agent, but who's being hired and who's being fired and what new departments are being developed. And consider working for bad teams. This was advice given to me a long time ago. Bad sports teams need your help. You're young, you're motivated, you're educated. When I started working for the Tigers in 2002, we were on the verge of being the worst team in American League history. And believe it or not, as much as I needed the Tigers, maybe they also needed me. So good luck to all of you. Best wishes. Look forward to seeing you in professional sports one day. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Janine Mitchell. I graduated from Wayne State University in the Sports Administration program last May. I currently work at the Detroit Tigers as a Sponsorship Services Coordinator. My responsibilities are to work hand in hand with the sponsors and making sure that their game day activations are in line and make sure that they have that they're getting everything that they sign on to, like in their contracts. Just tell you a little bit about how I got here. I actually volunteered to work an event. Someone in my class told me about working Tiger Fest. I think it was in 2013. And so I was like, sure, I want to meet people and it would just be fun. I didn't have a lot going on that Saturday. So I went to the event and I met Jordan Field, the director of the Tigers Foundation, and I just kind of like got to know him and worked with him that whole day. And he ended up reaching out to me about 2 months later about being like a part-time game day staff employee. So I was just excited. I got to kind of work with him more and learn more about the Tigers and working in sports. He then introduced me to the director of the Red Wings Foundation, and then I worked for the Red Wings for a season. Just doing the same thing. I was working for their foundation just as I had worked for Jordan. And then after that season, Jordan reached back out to me about being his intern for the 2014 year. And of course, I was just so excited, and I needed the internship for the program anyway. So I said, yes, great, perfect, sign me up. And it all started from there. So following my internship, they reached back out to me for a full-time position, and I gladly accepted, and that's just kind of how I got here. So if I were to give you, or any student like in my position, any advice, I would definitely just say to volunteer and try to just meet as many people as possible, whether it's networking or just kind of working part-time. Obviously it worked out for me, and it's just a good way for people to get to know you outside of class and kind of get to know your work ethic as well. And I would also say to keep an open mind. Like I said, all of my work experience had been in community relations, foundation type, nonprofit work, and now I currently work in corporate sales, which is a lot different. I definitely love it, but it just took a little bit getting used to. So I definitely would just encourage, keep an open mind, and just because you're not working where you'd like to end up, that doesn't mean that you won't end up there, in the long run. So that's just kind of what I would say, and good luck to everyone.
My name is Ron Wade. I am a graduate of the Wayne State Graduate Program in Sports Administration, actually class of 2003. My advice to all incoming students is if you want to work in sports, the best thing I did was working in the minor leagues. I spent 2 years working for the St. Paul Saints in the minor leagues, and minor league baseball, and this goes for any other sport, whether it be minor league hockey or D-League basketball, is the fact that it gives you the opportunity to do a lot of different jobs. So even if you're curious about marketing, but you have a job in, say, ticket sales, chances are you'll be able to do some sort of marketing job. So it gives you that experience, that well-rounded experience where you get to see what other departments do. And going to work in a minor league baseball team, that was like going to baseball boot camp. I was corporate sales, ticket sales, I was an usher, I was the grounds crew, I tore tickets at the front gate, I helped in our broadcast, I dressed as the mascot, I went to community appearances, I did promotions and marketing, and it was a little bit of everything. And it was one of those things that gave me so much experience and gave me such an appreciation of what everybody in different departments do, that when I came to the Tigers, I had that experience behind me and I was able to step right in and see how the marketing department of the Detroit Tigers work with other teams or work with other departments. So my advice to you, get an internship, but also don't discount the minor leagues because it's probably the best place to get the experience you need.
My name is Amy Peterson and I'm Associate Counsel for the Detroit Tigers. How I came to work in sports is a path that I can say was not normal in any way, shape, or form. But the one thing I can say about working in sports is that you really have to have passion, persistence, patience, and that all really falls in line with luck. I think the most important thing is being really prepared when an opportunity presents itself. It may not present itself ever, but when that door does open, you need to be the best at that job, the most qualified, and be prepared to step into that position. And that even means taking on other responsibilities. I highly recommend starting as an intern and really showing them what you can do, even if it is kind of outside of your realm or your expertise. So for example, I came in as an intern and I had already had a JD and an MBA, but was willing to work for free just to get an opportunity to get a foot in the door. And I used that as a way to show them what I could do, what I was capable of. And that led to other opportunities coming along. When the door was open, I was ready. And you have to understand that you're constantly being interviewed. You're constantly in someone's eye at all times. And that will pave the way for your own personal success if you want to work in sports.
Hi there, I'm Mike Smith, Director of Baseball Operations for the Detroit Tigers. I get asked a lot about how to get onto the baseball side of the operations here. And the problem is, if you ask 10 different people in baseball, you're going to get 10 different answers. Your challenge, additionally, as sports administration and sports management students, is on the baseball side. We get a lot of degrees with that. So how do you make yourself different? And that's what you got to do. For me, that meant driving to spring training and sleeping in my car for 2 weeks just to meet with people in baseball face to face. Not even for job interviews, just to show them I'm passionate and a little bit crazy. That's the kind of advice I can give you. More generally, I think a second point is when you're talking to these people in the future, always ask for their advice. Don't ask for a job up front. They're going to be far more open and likely to give you 10 or 20 minutes of their time. So I hope that helps, and best of luck.